Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show fan page on Facebook. Glad to be back with you on this beautiful Tuesday morning. We're live and local and glad to have you as a part of the program. So thank you so much. Once again, I want to invite you to get in on the conversation. 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904, the Taco Casa hotline open for business. All right. Talking about the best four. The best four. The best four group dual roster players. If you didn't get a chance to go out and you want to comment on it, please feel free to comment this morning, 205-342-9904, or post your thoughts and comments at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. And here's the results, Joe. We had number one, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Jamison Williams. Number four, Christopher Allen and Brian Robinson. Number 8, Christian Harris and John Mechie. And number 9, Bryce Young and Jordan Battle. Who'd you cast your vote for, Joe?
I think it's pretty hard to vote against number 9 with Bryce Young and Jordan Battle. Pretty much probably your most important player on the offense and one of your most important players on the defense. You and I, we discussed the importance of Jordan Battle yesterday on this show. So I think you got to go with number 9.
Yeah, and Curtis Lewis agreeing with you. He said easy, number 9. QB touches the ball the most and is gifted. And Battle is a future first-round pick who will make you snotty nose. And of course, Nick Saban on yesterday really, really had a lot of nice things to say about Jordan Battle and his leadership and how well he's playing and how he's doing things the way Nick Saban wants them done, how he makes everybody else around him better. So, like a quarterback on the field, a lot of positives. So, let's look at it, kind of go from in terms of numbers. Let's talk about each grouping, and then I'll tell you what the vote came out to be, because that's it. Number 9 would be it'd be hard for me not to pick number 9, but I understand why some of the others may have gotten votes. Now, the one that is completely brand new to the Alabama Crimson Tide is number 1. Okay, number 1 features Kool-Aid McKinstry and Jamison Williams. Those guys have the farthest road to come, but may be the most exciting combination of the four, Joe. When you look at Kool-Aid McKinstry and kind of the expectations for him at DB, and I'm not gonna say that they don't find a player or two to even throw him in on the offensive side of the ball with his skill set. I think they thought they may do that more at the beginning of spring, but now that they've added Jamison Williams as well as some of the other younger guys that have stepped up, here's some potential starters at the wide receivers. Let's look at those two positions and what would maybe bring a little competition to that position. Kool-Aid McKinstry at defensive back. Right now, you're looking at in secondary. Right now, the starters, Josh Jobe and Jalen Armour Davis, would be the two guys. But of course, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Kyrie Jackson expected to potentially be the second team guy. Malachi Moore is going to be an interesting one, whether he's a corner or other safety there. So Kool-Aid brings a lot of excitement, Joe, to the game. And then, of course, we've seen what Jameson Williams can do. So from just an excitement standpoint, do those two potentially represent the most exciting pairing as far as opportunities and what they can do with the ball once they get it?
Yes, I think that you easily hit the nail on the head with the excitement level. I think that Jameson Williams, Coach Saban has talked a couple of times about how he's going to have a role in this offense. So if he emerges as that big play threat, you might see that the fans gravitate towards the players that wear number one more than other players.
Yeah, and I mean, just I think the other gap or opportunity these guys have, Joe, is Kool-Aid McKinstry will be replacing Patrick Surtain in the eyes of the fans, right? So if he comes out and does well, he's people going to fall in love with him if he gets that role. Local Alabama kid, replacing a first rounder, has the cool nickname. I mean, he's going to have a lot going for him, and wearing that number one jersey. Then on the other side, Jameson Williams would be perceived as replacing who? Devontae Smith, right? If he's in that first rotation. And and I think just because of the shoes they're having to fill, if they both come out and have great seasons, then they could get some perception votes at the end of the season. This would be fun to watch. Be one of those fun things to do at the end of the season to see how different the votes are. But they did not win the voting. And now number 4, Christopher Allen or Chris Allen and Brian Robinson. These are two guys that are both what? Did Christopher Allen, is he a 5th-year guy or 6th-year guy? I know I know he's at least a 5th-year senior. I can't remember if he got an extra year. I know Brian Robinson is a 6-year guy. So they're the two old hands when you look at it versus number 1 had the two new guys. These are the two old guys, and neither one of them are flashy players. Okay. Even if they both go out and have stellar, unbelievable seasons, I still don't think people will feel like that these guys are going to be, the best duo, even if they have numbers that represent that. Brian Robinson is kind of a mellow, down to earth, go out, do your job, hardworking guy. But he did, when he got a chance to talk to the media, he did make it plain that him and others feel like they are the type of guys who who can replace the talent that left last year, and that they have plenty of guys coming back, and he's one of those guys that's ready to step up and take the bull by the horns. Looking forward to hopefully a great season by Brian Robinson, of course, Chris Allen, kid out of Louisiana. Joe, he's never been like this. Oh my God, Chris Allen! I got to go see him play, etc. But he has been a very, very consistent player. But that's not going to get you a vote for being the best player. Any thoughts or comments on those two guys?
Well, yeah, I think that Chris Allen, gets overshadowed by his counterpart, especially how exciting Will Anderson was. This number might be the most consistent of the group of your groupings, it might be arguably the most important with their leadership and what they bring as far as setting the Bama standard. I kind of think of Chris Allen as a Ryan Anderson type outside
Mm-hmm.
linebacker, but I think even in my mind, I might be underselling him and his skill set. So we'll have to see how they perform this year. I think it's very interesting that both these guys wearing number 4 have younger players behind them that I think the Alabama fan base is probably more excited about. But Chris Allen and Brian Robinson, what they bring to the table, I think is dependability.
Oh my God, you nailed it. I had not made the Chris Allen, Ryan Anderson comparison, but that is probably as good a comparison to a former player to a current player in terms of not just their size, their athletic ability, the way they approach the game, and their dependability. Not a guy that ever just jumps off the page and like, oh my God, like Will Anderson. Um, he came in with a lot of hype. He lived up to the hype, and then he grew his own hype in terms of the way he performed as a freshman, getting the Sean Alexander National Freshman Player of the Year, and now seems like he didn't get caught up in his own media clippings and spend a lot of time. But Chris Allen is one of those guys, and you nailed it. What I think these two bring to the table, and the reason Saban is so excited these two guys come back. They understand the process. They understand the Bama standard. They're respected by their teammates, their leaders, and they've done things right both on and off the field. So that's the two number fours may not get your vote for being the best duo in terms of stats and performance on the field, but they very well could be bringing as much to the game and importance to the game as any player on this team, and especially out of these duos. We've talked a little bit about number 9. Let's go to break here. Come back on the other side. We'll talk about Christian Harris, John Mechie. We'll talk about Bryce Young, Jordan Battle. Those two, of course, it came down between those two as far as which duo is going to be the best. We'll talk about both of those on the other side. You'll listen to the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. 100.9
traffic. From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Traffic pretty quiet around town. The interstate has been reopened following a fiery crash overnight on the interstate at exit 71 eastbound. If you see conditions, just give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with finance rates as low as 0% and rebates up to $5,000. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Gonna miss you around here, Iris. Olivia's best optometry technician is going back to school.
Did we get that new brand?
Her eye is already twitching about finding a replacement.
Ugh, this can't keep happening. We're gonna have to cancel appointments.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Screen for quality candidates with the skills your role needs with Indeed assessments. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply. Relax and recharge with all your buddies while you watch all your favorite games at R&R Cigars. They have a large walk-in humidor with a great selection of name brand cigars for all flavor profiles and taste preferences. R&R Cigars is Tuscaloosa's only whiskey bar and several big screen TVs to watch your favorite team with theater seating and Wi-Fi. So if you're looking for the ultimate venue to watch all your favorite sports, stop by R&R Cigars on 6th Street in Tuscaloosa and next to Winn-Dixie on McFarland Boulevard in Northport.
With the help of Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond, I get everyone's morning started with a smile. It has a delicious and hearty combination of the Cheerios you love, whole grain Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond in your local grocery store.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials, a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Well, Debo Williams is, a guy that's really made a big impact in this camp. We've been trying to manage, Mitch through. He's coming off of a couple, surgeries, coming back. He's played really well when he's had the opportunity. He made some big plays today. Slade's doing good. JoJo Earl's doing good. A couple of the other freshman guys are, coming along. So, I think it's going to be a bit of a work in progress with this group, but I do think we have enough talent there to have some really good players that can play fast and be explosive. And obviously, John Mechie's the guy that has the most experience doing that. And we feel like he's getting more and more healthy. And I thought he played fast today.
That's Coach Saban talking about John Mechie. Of course, we're going through the combo guys, dual number combo guys. Which guy is going to be the best in terms of the combo guys? And of course, number one being Kool-Aid McKinstry and Jameson. I think did Coach call him Jabo? Is that what he called him? Jabo Williams. Jabo. So Jabo Williams already got a nickname with Coach Saban. So they're the number one. Number four is Chris Allen and Brian Robinson, and we were talking about whether he was a fifth year guy. I couldn't remember if he redshirted or not, but I don't think he did. And Curtis Moore II saying he's a fifth year guy. Talking about Chris Allen and Brian Robinson, and we talked about what they bring to the game. Maybe not the most exciting guys, but maybe the most consistent guys, leadership guys, standard guys, process guys, the type of guys that have shown themselves to be loyal to Alabama, and Nick Saban shows himself to be loyal to those types of guys. Curtis Lewis, before we move on to the next group of guys, Curtis Lewis replying, and Joe, get your thoughts on this. He said he is talking about being a fifth year guy, and he's one of the guys behind him will bump him out. Thoughts? Do you think Chris Allen at any point either plays bad enough to lose his spot, or a Drew Sanders or Chris Braswell, King Wakuda, a Quindarius Robinson, a Canoe Colt, or Dallas Turner, or maybe even another list of guys? Do you see any of those guys playing well enough to potentially bump Chris Allen out?
Well, I think that list has a lot of talent. Keanu Code, Dallas Turner. I think they've got a lot of talent. But I don't think that Chris Allen is going to play poorly enough to lose his starting role. What I do think might happen, Martin, is instead of losing his starting role, it may, I won't say go into a 50-50 split with any of those guys, but you might see maybe Chris Allen's reps lower just a little bit to make room for any number of those guys that are ready to play that you just mentioned. Probably splitting, probably 3 or 4 or 5 guys splitting that 30 to 40% of reps, while Allen kind of does his thing in the other 50 to 60% of the reps.
Yeah, and I think how often we get we hold teams to 3rd and 6 to 7 or longer, obvious passing downs. I think Chris Braswell in the 8A game and Drew Sanders from some of what he did last year, I think they showed that they're better pass rushers than he is. I'd like you said, unless he falls off the chart, I don't see him being benched behind those guys. But I do see those guys having packages, personnel groupings where they may be the guy that gets on the field, like in an obvious passing situation, or Saban mentioned something about the possibility of putting a defensive end down in terms of being that last man on the line of scrimmage. And so in that scenario, Will Anderson becomes the not an outside linebacker, but the 3rd down lineman or 4th down lineman based on which set Alabama's in. And then if you have an outside linebacker, Joe, in that set, you may have one of the more athletic guys who can cover a back out of the backfield in space, being one of those guys that gets in the game in those scenarios as well. So I don't know if that's what Curtis meant by it, but I think you and I are on the same page in terms of what it means in terms of those guys getting on the field. Because I do not see all of that talent, Joe, sitting on the sideline the entire game. We're gonna get ready to transition to talk to about those other dual threat guys, but we got a caller coming in, so let me pause right here and get him into the conversation. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, Martin.
Good morning. Doing good, sir. You?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I've got a question concerning the alignment. We're talking about production from Chris Allen's side of the defensive line,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what we're talking about this morning. And but I'm curious, Martin, if you could explain this to me. When the offense comes out to get set on their play, they will have a strong side and a weak side. Is that correct? I mean, the tight end determines where the strong side is. Am I right about that?
Teams can call strong based on different things. If I go all the way back to when I played, when everybody had a tight end, it was generally to the tight end. Strength was generally to the tight end side. Okay. But now they have so many multi-set formations. They have formations where they don't even have a tight end in the game. And so if it's not a tight end, the next thing we did as linebackers, if there was no tight end, say that they had 2 wide receivers to both sides and a single running back, then we called it to the running back side. And so
But the number is really what determines what's strong and not, right?
most of the time that's what they do. But you can have it where a team breaks tendencies, and you could call it based on, like, if a team runs to the wide side, if they they may put everything to the boundary, but you may still call and flip to the wide side of the field based on them being in a balanced set.
Okay. Well, look, when you say boundary, they set to the boundary. I never have understood what that is. Is that the short side of the field?
Yes.
When you say boundary,
Yes.
that's a way of saying short side of the field.
Yes. If they're on the right hash and they run into the boundary or they set to the boundary, that means that they set the formation to the right side.
I know a guy that played for Coach Bryant when the wishbone days was we were running the wishbone back in the day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he said Coach Bryant had this thing about running the wishbone to the short side of the field, and they go, Coach, that's not working. And he said, we got the numbers over there, so we're gonna run it. They said, well, it don't take as many people over there. And said they would argue with Coach Bryant because he was going to run that wishbone over to the short side, and he'd go, well, I've got the numbers over there, we're gonna run it. They go, well, it don't take as many to stop it. Oh.
Well, you know, but that, Tom, it really based on how the defense calls their sets. Whether, you know, like we were just talking about, you can set it in such a way, especially on the option. When think about this, and I know we digress a little bit, but think about option, especially a wishbone triple option. They were reading the first interior lineman, right? So they had no reason to block him. Okay. And then the quarterback came around down the side, and if they ran a lead option, the right side halfback would be leading up on maybe the corner or the safety, because if they had a wide receiver to that set, they may or not. If they had a tight end, based on how they set it, that guy would have the corner. And if they didn't have a wide receiver, then that running back would lead on that wide receiver. And then the quarterback did what? He ran the option and read the defensive end. And then the guard and the tackle blocked the linebacker and the other tackle to that side. So that's why Coach Bryant was saying they would have the numbers. It didn't take as many, but because you were optioning guys, you had two guys that if they did anything, you could make them wrong. If the guard or the first down lineman didn't come across, or et cetera, and the quarterback read it correctly, he couldn't be wrong. And then when the quarterback got out on the edge against that defensive end, outside linebacker, whatever position you want to call him, if he chose the quarterback pitched it to the running back. If he chose the running back to run it, the quarterback kept it. So you had numbers in that sense, and then you had the option to make it right. That's why he liked running it to that sideline. If you ran it to the other side, it was just more guys out there, and even after you made the option, you still had to block more guys.
Let me ask you this. I bring that up because I think sometimes the position that Chris Allen is playing is that the responsibility where he is different than what Will Anderson might be playing on his side. To me, and I hope you'll explain this, is that the responsibilities on the weak side, if you would, are not the same as it would be if Chris is lining up over the tight end side of the offense, and I don't know if that position is going to be made available to have the production that the other side that Will's playing, Will Anderson playing. Am I on the something here, or is this a pipe dream of mine?
No, it definitely. There is no absolute on it. It's really based on what their roles and responsibilities are. But a lot of times, if you're the weak side guy or the backside guy, um, when you start talking about numbers and who has pass coverage versus pass rush, then that weak side, backside guy, if he's in the passing game, a lot of times he may not have a guy to cover out of the backfield, or he may not have as much responsibility in terms of taking on a lead blocker, meaning that he may get out in space more. So, yeah, you're correct in the fact that based on how a defense is called, one of those outside linebackers may end up playing one-on-one with a tackle or in space and coming off the edge because he doesn't have as much responsibility in the run and pass game, sometimes based on how the other team plays and how your team calls strength and strong side. So you're on to something. You're right.
I say that because when they put one guy out there to take care of Chris Allen, look here, he's in the backfield,
Yeah.
and that's what I've noticed. And I may be wrong. Curtis and them are much better at
What?
a football scheme than I am, but it just looks like to me Chris Allen has a different role, kind of like Ryan Anderson. You know, Ryan Anderson set the edge as good as anybody I ever seen because he was tough and strong. And Christopher Allen reminds me, when y'all brought that up, that he's a lot like Ryan. Uh, I got to thinking, you know, I think that responsibility over there is a little bit different. I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody.
Yeah.
I think Will's an outstanding ball player. But
think about this, Tom. Just think about this from a common sense logical standpoint. If there's a tight end to your side and you're the outside linebacker, and then there's just a tackle to your side, how much closer are you to the quarterback than the guy on the strong side? So yeah. So there you go. that totally.
I wondered that, you know, we a lot of times we look at something and look at the production point of a player without considering, well, the other guy, if he was in that position, he probably could produce that too. But his responsibility is a little bit different from where he's playing and how they play. But anyway, that was a brainstorm.
No, that's great football conversation, Tom. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I didn't steer you in the wrong way, but you are definitely making points about both of those. And just one other quick thing: think about it. If a team runs into the boundary and they have strength away from the boundary, the outside linebacker has a smaller area to cover and because the sideline becomes another defender. So there's even benefits there. So there's a lot to get there. So we're going to go ahead and get the break here. Tom, thanks for that insight. We're probably going to kick, no doubt, we're probably going to kick the can down the road to tomorrow, where we'll have a little deal, no deal. We'll finish this conversation with the top two vote getters. We'll tell you that those guys coming back on the other side. We'll kind of set the stage for those guys for that conversation for tomorrow in terms of which dual number combination is projected to have the best season. We'll talk about that. Wrap up this edition of the Martin Houston Show up next, right here on Tide 100.9.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. Traffic pretty quiet on this Tuesday morning. Of course, if you do see conditions throughout the day that folks need to hear about, just give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business with rebates up to $5,000 and finance rates as low as 0%. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Good morning. There is actually a movement toward bipartisanship growing in the Alabama legislature. During this past session, Republicans, Democrats, blacks, whites, male and female conducted meetings where attendees were told to leave their emotions and their partisanship at the door. Legislative leaders hope to be able to maintain that bipartisanship in a possible special session to deal with Alabama prisons this fall. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage. It's free. On Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb Series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing LLC.
So you think you have unlimited data?
Recalculating.
Think again. If you're on a network you can't trust, then your data is limited, and so are you. Get unlimited and save with Total Wireless. Get 4 lines with unlimited data on 5G from the network more Americans depend on, with 100 gigabytes at high speed, then 2G for just $25 a month per line.
You have arrived at your destination.
Total Wireless. Do amazing. Available at authorized dealers. 5G capable device and SIM required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at totalwireless.com.
The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts will help with all your car care needs. Whether you're shopping for parts, accessories, or supplies, we've got you covered. Right now, get Superior Coverall Tire Shine 2 for $16. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. Keep your car looking like new. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Are we ready for the 5:30 pickup?
Cam's Courier Service's newest hire delivered his resignation.
Hey, Ray, what's happening?
She now needs next day shipping on a new driver.
All these boxes here, are they ingoing or are they outgoing?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The sound of Bama Sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. It's the Alabama One Insurance 2-minute warning. Alabama One Insurance. Go check them out. You can get that quote online. Fill out all the information. It'll send us an email. We'll start the process and we'll follow up with you right there at alabama1insurance.com. Or if you want to stop by the main branch location located on Veteran Memorial Parkway, we'll be there to serve you as well. That's Alabama One Insurance. We'll review your policies, no charge to you. Make sure what you have, and then we'll reduce your premiums by shopping at our various numerous carriers. You don't have to shop, and then you can relax knowing that you're properly covered. Had a great show today. We're talking regarding a couple guys making All-American teams, Will Anderson, Evan Neal, first team, and, of course, a couple other guys making a second team, Harris and Ekior and Job as well. But there's so many opportunities to be playmakers on this team, but none more than potentially John Mechie. And so we were talking about our dual combination guys with the advent of an offensive player and a defensive player wearing the same jersey number. Put up a poll question. The poll has closed. We talked about the first couple of guys, number one being Kool-Aid McKinstry and Jamison Williams, and how they may be the most exciting pairing of the dual numbers. But they only got 7% of the vote. But I think both of those guys will bring a lot of excitement and joy to the Alabama fans this year as they replace Patrick Surtain as well as Devontae Smith. Then we talked about number 4, Chris Allen, and B-Rob. Those are two guys that are kind of old hands, 5th and 6th year guys, steady leaders, bought in, and we'll see them with guys that can absolutely, without a doubt, be big-time contributors, but probably not going to be viewed as the best season no matter what the statistics are because they just play a little different role. Curtis Moore saying, hey, I see Allen maybe even being a D-line position in the rabbit package, meaning he may be that extra defensive lineman. But the two guys or two pairings that have the biggest opportunity, and by the way, the number 4 grouping got 4% of the vote. So that leaves another, 89% of the vote to be shared between number 8, Mechie and Harris, and number 9, Young and Battle. We'll talk about which one of those guys had the best chance to have the best season. We'll have a little deal, no deal tomorrow. We'll have Scotty Hollins with the Christian Moment of the Week. So it's going to be a full day on Wednesday. Thank you for being a part of the program. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Martin Houston. That's Joe Gaither. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, chatters, all of you who helped make this show a great show. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on tomorrow. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not in your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9.
You too, man. Have a good one.